town-wide recreation plan underway, a preview of Yorktown's new park project.
The latest in COVID research, how a new rise in cases and hospitalizations could be on the way.
Students gather to protest on campus what kind of change they're fighting for.
And preparations underway for Hurricane Ian, how one major park plans to combat the storm.
Cool temperatures today and going into the rest of the week. I'll track just how cold it will get coming up in my full forecast.
Delaware County's only live television newscast from Ball State University's Unified Media Newsroom. You're watching NewsLink Indiana.
Good evening and thanks for being with us. I'm Tara Konieczny.
And I'm Zach Vance, and tonight we start with a new project to help a neighboring community. Grace Minkowski joins us.
Yes, good evening, Tara and Zach. The development of the new park is underway in Yorktown as part of a town-wide recreation plan. The park is part of an initiative being taken by the Yorktown Town Council. With additional COVID relief funding as well as possible grant money, the town is looking to fill the empty plot on Nobu Road. Concept plans were discussed with input from Ball State University architecture students, and opinions were shared by Bradford Park neighborhood residents on Monday. Yorktown Town Council Vice President Nancy Sears Perry says she's excited to see the final product in 2023.
As we have a comprehensive park plan and trail plan, this seemed to fit in nicely with bringing a beautiful area to the east side of Yorktown for several neighborhoods to enjoy.
And I sat in on Monday's meeting and spoke to residents about what they're looking forward to most. They say they can't wait to see a lively space in their neighborhood.
Thank you so much, Grace. Parts of Tillotson Avenue are still closed tonight after a car versus motorcycle crash. MPD responded at around 7:45 tonight. Police say a car pulled in front of the motorcyclist, causing the crash. The motorcyclist was wearing gloves and a helmet when he was thrown to the ground. The motorcyclist was conscious when transported to a local hospital by EMS. Ball State's Teachers College awarded $2.6 million. According to a release, the grant came from the U.S. Department of Education. It will be used to develop an inclusive approach to identifying and supporting gifted students with disabilities. The project is called Project Brilliance. Through it, Ball State will partner with other teams from universities across the country. They will work with students from underdeserved and marginalized backgrounds. Ball State undergrad and graduate students will serve as data collectors for the 5-year program.
Students gathered on University Green this weekend to protest and spread awareness on the urgent state of the environment. In an event sponsored by the Student Government Association and University Democrats, the No Planet B, a climate rally, fought to make Muncie and Ball State more green. Speakers at this rally gave tips on becoming more environmentally friendly.
I think it's really important that people know that you don't have to be perfect to help with the environment. It's as simple as maybe using like 2 less plastic bags a week or getting a reusable water bottle.
For more information on more events, go to treehugger.com or visit the Green Action Team Campus Cleanup later this week.
Today was a little brisk on campus, but still a beautiful day out. I loved the fall weather.
Absolutely. Feels like we're really getting into fall weather. People were able to play in the field today. Hope, what's the rest of the weekend look like for us?
Yeah, guys, a little bit on the chilly side, but a beautiful day outside as you saw all of them in their hoodies. Right now, though, 50 degrees here in Muncie, 54 in Indianapolis, 52 up there in Kokomo. Zooming in on our viewing area, you can still see 50s pretty much across the board. A couple of our cities sitting at 49 degrees right now. And we saw those breezy conditions today as well. Peak wind gust in South Bend was at 33 miles per hour. Recorded wind gusts here in Muncie at 30 miles per hour as well as in Indianapolis. Through my full weather forecast, I'll be tracking those below average temperatures. A little bit of a warm up coming into this weekend, and Hurricane Ian is tracking northward. Will we see the remnants of that? I'll have all the details coming up in my full weather forecast.
Thank you so much, Hope. The White House welcomed representatives from more than a dozen countries in the Western Hemisphere yesterday to talk about mass migration. The meeting was a follow-up to the Summit of the Americas held in June. At that time, 21 nations signed onto the Los Angeles Declaration Agreement. It asked governments to expand temporary worker programs, reinforce legal pathways, support countries hosting large migrant populations, and crack down on human smuggling networks. Yesterday's meeting was held to iron out the implementation of the declaration and choose a special coordinator for each country. More announcements are expected next week at the Los Angeles Declaration meeting of Foreign Ministries in Lima, Peru.
A public interest lawyer filed a lawsuit over President Biden's student loan forgiveness plan, arguing the policy is an abuse of executive power. It's one of the first significant legal challenges to the plan. Frank Garrison claims because of the forthcoming student loan forgiveness, he will be forced to pay state taxes on the amount canceled, an expense he otherwise would have avoided. Under Biden's plan, borrowers under certain income levels will see up to $10,000 of their federal student loan debt forgiven. If a borrower also got a federal Pell Grant while in college, they're eligible for up to $20,000 off debt forgiveness. Borrowers will not have to pay federal income tax on the student loan debt forgiven.
The White House is focused on fighting diet-related diseases nationwide and end the country's hunger crisis by the end of the decade. Officials say the federal government has a roadmap with proposals that will address these issues. The plan involves asking Congress to increase access to healthy, free lunches for 9 million more school children by 2032. The White House says it knows this strategy will take time to be put into motion, but one official says they are ready to take, quote, bold action. Tomorrow, the White House will host its first conference on hunger, nutrition, and health since 1969.
Researchers in Europe are seeing another rise in COVID-19 cases. The Zoe Health study says it has documented a 30% increase in reported cases in England within the past week. It uses an app to let people in the UK and US report their daily symptoms and results of their COVID home tests. US officials with the project believe this could signal the next COVID wave. Their results follow new data from the UK's National Health Service, which showed increases in both cases and hospitalizations.
A new study shows concerns about COVID vaccination affecting menstrual cycles. Researchers looked at 20,000 women and determined the shot delayed their periods by an average of 0.7 days. That's likely not enough time for most to notice, but when 2 shots were received during a single menstrual cycle, that delay rose to 4 days. The delay was found to be temporary as most women resumed normal menstruation timing during the following cycle. Scientists also determined the disruption appears to have no impact on fertility. And if you're not getting enough sleep, you could be putting your health at risk. A new study showed that chronic sleep deprivation made the immune system go into overdrive because it caused too much inflammation. Your body needs a certain amount of inflammation to fight infections and heal wounds, but too much can raise the risk of autoimmune disorders and chronic disease. Researchers say it supports years of studies that show sleep boosts immune functioning. The same researchers continue to suggest getting 7 to 8 hours of sleep a night. And coming up on NewsLink Indiana, gas prices begin to rise again, but not because of what you think. Stay with us to find out why.
And an increase in worry over financial security, why more Americans are concerned about staying afloat.
Riding the bus is an easy thing to do. Last year, we carried 60,000 riders from the Ball State area. 50,000 of those were students. Anywhere you want to go, MITS will take you there.
So, I just moved in with this family, and it's embarrassing. The little one, he likes to go outside and crawl around in the giant litter box. I don't know what he's doing. I mean, I was born and I knew how to use the litter box. Look at that! That's disgusting! Oh, poop already! You're making me nervous. Oh, okay, I can't look at this anymore. I really hope he grows out of this, for his sake.
Welcome back. Hurricane Ian is not expected to impact U.S. fuel prices.
AAA reports the national average for a gallon is $3.75.
That's about 8 cents more than it was last week, but analysts say Ian is not to blame. BP and Chevron have evacuated crews from offshore and natural gas fields in the Gulf of Mexico for safety, but Ian's path is not projected to cross that area. Analysts say the loss of roughly 485,000 barrels a day from these evacuations will be minor for overall production. On the other side of the pump, Hertz and BP announced their plan to build thousands of electric vehicle charging stations nationwide. The financial terms of the deal weren't released, but officials say both companies hope this is a step towards getting more electric vehicles on the roads. BP has previously said it wanted to have 100,000 chargers globally by the end of the decade. Hertz says it hopes 25% of its rental fleet will be EVs by 2025. According to the Alliance for Automotive Innovation, roughly 5% of the vehicles sold in the U.S. this year are electric.
New home sales in the U.S. bounced back last month. That's despite high prices and rising mortgage rates that have been pushing some buyers away. The federal government reports 685,000 new homes were sold last month, up from 532,000 in July. Meanwhile, the median price for a new home fell slightly, just $2,600 to $436,800. New home sales have been trending lower, with prospective buyers seeing their budgets stretched thin by long construction times, mounting costs, and rising mortgage rates.
Many Americans are worried about staying afloat financially. According to a survey from Bank of America, 71% of U.S. workers say their salaries and wages can't keep pace with the rising cost of living. That's up from the 58% who said the same in February. The findings are from data taken in July and are based on Americans who have 401k plans. 44% of U.S. employees say they feel well off financially, which is the lowest that level has been in 5 years.
Toy companies have a new target audience for gifts this holiday season: adults. Not just parents buying for their kids, but as potential customers. A Hasbro executive says the company is pitching collectibles and nostalgic products to adults, because grown-up shoppers tend to be more invested in the brands that they played with as kids. Hasbro expects strong demand for toy brands like Transformers, G.I. Joe, Star Wars, and Marvel. Mattel is also hoping to cash in on adults buying toys, specifically Hot Wheels, and it's partnering with Elon Musk's SpaceX to sell SpaceX-inspired collectible toys under the Matchbox brand.
And it looks like that brisk cold weather is staying with us. Hope H, what do you have for us?
Yeah, Terry, you're right. Those brisk temperatures are sticking around. I'll tell just how long coming up after the break.
Here you go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I think it's just vapor with flavor.
It won't hurt my kid like cigarettes, right?
Vaping is safer than smoking, isn't it?
There's really not even that much nicotine in them, right?
My kid?
My kid knows it's dangerous.
Get your head out of the cloud. Today, nearly 8,000 kids will start vaping, maybe even yours. Learn about the dangers at talkaboutvaping.org.
Emotes say a lot, but they can't say it all. Think your guildmate is struggling? Try these dialogue options. Go beyond emotes. Check in with your guildmates at seizetheawkward.org.
Every day,
millions of people are connecting.
and even though we're overcoming obstacles,
watching each other's backs,
And banding together.
we should still make an effort.
We should still make an
to
effort.
get to know each other,
On a deeper level.
Father,
cosplayer,
Mentor.
Actor.
it's time we take a step forward
it's time we take a step forward,
Come together.
and discover
how accepting our differences
can make us stronger.
Welcome back. Indiana Michigan Power is sending help ahead of Hurricane Ian, according to a media advisory. They're sending more than 350 workers to Florida before the storm makes landfall.
Crews will work 16-hour days to restore electricity to those who lose power. I&M employees from Fort Wayne, South Bend, and even here in Muncie will join others from around the country. The hurricane is expected to make landfall at some point this week.
Also making preparations ahead of the hurricane is Disney. Earlier today, Walt Disney World announced it is canceling events and closing its theme parks ahead of Hurricane Ian. The National Hurricane Center expects the Category 3 storm to make landfall in Florida tomorrow night. Disney says all of its theme parks and water parks will be closed tomorrow and Thursday.
And I'm not sure if you got to go outside today and enjoy the beautiful fall weather, but I sure did, and I loved it.
And I hope it stays this chilly. Hope. What are we thinking?
Well, Zach, you're in luck because those cool temperatures are sticking around. As we see, our high today was only 63 degrees. But if you recall, this time last week, we reached a high of 87 degrees. And last Wednesday, we were even in the lower 90s. So not seeing that hot weather this week as cool temperatures are sticking around. 50 degrees here in Muncie right now, 54 in Indianapolis, 51 in Lafayette, as well as up there in South Bend, they're also sitting at 51 degrees. And those northwesterly winds were a factor today, and they were quite breezy as well. North-northwest winds right now at 8 miles per hour here in Muncie, coming out of the north at 9 miles per hour in Indianapolis. So these northwesterly winds are keeping our temperatures on the cool side and not allowing us to warm up quite that much. Looking at radar, dry across our area, some passing clouds throughout the day today, but we did remain dry throughout the day. Zooming out and up to our north, we see this low pressure system up in Canada that's bringing some rain showers up to the northeast, and northeastern Indiana is having some lake effect rain showers as well, but those will stay north of our viewing area. Looking at Hurricane Ian, it was upgraded to a Category 3 hurricane today off the west coast of Cuba. It is tracking northward and is expected to make U.S. landfall off the west coast of Florida come tomorrow afternoon. And it is uncertain as to whether the track will track westward into our viewing area. So you want to stay tuned to NewsLink Indiana to see those weather updates. As for us tonight, though, partly cloudy skies, a low of 41 degrees. Some outlying rural areas could see some lows up into the upper 30s. Those northwest winds sticking around at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Could see some wind gusts up to 30 miles per hour tonight. So you'll want to take some time to tie down any loose outdoor fall decorations you might have. Tomorrow, 42 at 8 a.m. Definitely want to grab a jacket on your way out the door. 55 for your lunchtime hour, but then finally topping out at 63 degrees by 5 p.m. So still sitting below average for this time of year. Those winds starting to die down, but still coming out of the north around 5 to 10 miles per hour. These cool temperatures and cool nights, that means that our first frost is right around the corner. Our average first frost here in Muncie is around October 3rd, and we typically see our first frost when temperatures at night dip below 32 degrees. Our latest first frost was on November 12th back in 2016. Not seeing those cool nights quite yet, but we do have some 40s for lows on Wednesday and Thursday. Highs in the 60s for Wednesday and Thursday at 63 for tomorrow, 66 on Thursday, but warming up into the 70s going into the weekend. 72 degrees for the home football game forecast on Saturday, 73 on Sunday, and then 70s going into the start of next week. But plenty of sunshine to get outside if you guys plan on doing that.
Awesome. As long as we don't have a day like 91 last week, I'm good.
Yep. Cool temperatures will be sticking around for the next week, but I enjoy those 70 degrees more so than those 60-degree temperatures.
Yeah.
So those are the perfect temperatures for me to get outside.
Yeah, especially at last week at the football game, way too hot. Thank you so much, Hope. Now we're going to kick things over to Zach Greer to take a look at what's next in sports.
Thanks, guys. We catch up with one Ball State head coach going into their next matchup. Plus, we have recaps from multiple Ball State sports. All that and more after the break.
Here's your sandwich, miss.
Oh, thank you.
And your burger.
Awesome, thank you.
And your bowl of boiling water, sir.
After retiring from the NFL, I've been able to spend a lot more time coaching my daughter's basketball teams. It's something I love to do. Through our games and our tournaments, we see all types of coaching, good and bad. And it begs the question, do we really know who's coaching our kids? Do they have the proper training and screening it would take for me to be comfortable with my daughters playing for that coach? Our Youth Basketball Association made the decision to use trusted coaches to screen and train all of our coaches. I'm a trusted coach. Are you?
So if one cat has 4 kittens who reproduce every 6 months, how many cats will there be in 5 years? Who's got it? Is this... What is that? Seriously? Who threw that?
Cats are terrible at math, but they sure do multiply. Please spay, neuter, and adopt.
The solution is 10. Welcome back to NewsLink Indiana. I'm Zach Greer with sports. Ball State soccer getting ready for their matchup this Thursday. The Cardinals kicking off Mid-American Conference play with a 2-2 draw at Miami of Ohio and a 5-0 win over Eastern Michigan. Last season, Ball State finishing with 4 wins, 5 losses, and 2 draws in the conference, just missing out on the MAC tournament. However, returning junior Avery Fenchel could be the key to success. Fenchel has scored 6 of the Cardinals' 14 goals this season. Heading into their next matchup, head coach Josh Reif appreciates the momentum that his team is carrying.
You know, I mean, obviously you want to capitalize on momentum, and I was talking to another coach, you know, just this past week about momentum is a funny thing that it can be with you one day and then gone. So you try to ride it as long as you can.
The Cardinals have 9 games left on their schedule, the first of which will be played against Northern Illinois at home at 4 p.m. Keeping things at Briner Sports Complex, Ball State Field Hockey dropping back-to-back losses over the weekend. The Cardinals' 2-game win streak ending on Friday with a shutout loss at Kent State by losing 7-0. Looking to shake off the loss to the Flashes, Ball State returning to Briner Sports Complex on Sunday. The Cardinals would eventually fall to the 5th-ranked team in the country in the Iowa Hawkeyes with a score of 6-1. Ball State only managing to get 1 shot on goal against Iowa compared to the 28 shots on goal for the Hawkeyes. The lone goal over this 2-game span was coming from freshman Fleur Noppert. The Cardinals now sit at 4-4 on the season. They plan to get back in the win column and stay above 500 this Friday as they travel to face Central Michigan at 3 p.m. Taking things over to the hardwood, Ball State women's volleyball facing off in Maction over the weekend. The Cardinals traveling to Mount Pleasant to face off in a doubleheader against the Chippewas of Central Michigan. After playing Friday and Saturday, Ball State dropping both matchups by losing in 4 sets and 5 sets respectively. This is now 5 straight losses for the Cardinals after only losing 4 matches throughout their 2021 MAC championship run. Ball State will look to break the losing streak this Friday at home against Eastern Michigan. Game time in Worthen Arena will take place at 6 p.m. And finally, moving things over to the green, Ball State women's golfer Kaya Parrott earning Ball State Athlete of the Week honors. The junior golfer winning the award after her historic performance at the Brittany Kelly Cardinal Classic last week. Parrott opening up her first round of play last Monday, finishing at 5 under par, the 2nd best score in program history. Day 2 of the Classic, Parrott earning a score of 68 or 4 under par. These scores creating the 2 best round score in the history of the program with 135 or 900 par. Parrott feels her personal drive is what has led her to this accomplishment.
I, work my ass off, and I do that on my own. And, I don't really need anyone to tell me, hey, like, you should go practice, hey, you need to do this. I know myself that that's what I need to do, and I know what I need to work on to get better.
Parrott and the women's golf squad will look to continue to break records this Monday at the Butler Fall Invitational. And guys, it's really awesome that she was able to win that honor. I remember my time playing golf with a, Wii remote in my hand in front of the television. Really fun times.
I'm in the same boat as you.
Yes.
Absolutely. Well, thank you for sports, Zach.
In just moments, NewsLink Indiana's Mira Bloomer joins us for your campus coverage.
And we have one final look at weather. Stay with us.
Here you go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi. Can you help me?
I got it.
Thank you.
No problem.
Just like the rules to surviving Zombieland, there are steps you can take to be prepared for an emergency.
It's the right thing to do.
Talk with your family to make a plan. Look for safe areas to meet up if separated. And stock up on supplies. It's never too early to get prepared, so start now.
Right now? Right now.
You can't predict emergencies, but you can be ready.
You're welcome, America.
Visit ready.gov today to learn more.
Jordan knows he shouldn't eat this entire bowl of nachos, but tonight he's earned that right. Because a few hours ago, in the middle of happy hour, he recognized a sign. Not from the gods or a bolt of lightning, but from a double heart, a kissy face, and a fourth ha in ha ha ha. That's when Jordan knew he was buzzed. So when it was time to go, he got a ride home instead of driving. Be a legend like Jordan. Recognize your buzzed warning signs and get a ride home. Buzz driving is drunk driving.
Welcome back to NewsLink Indiana. My name is Mira Bloomer, and this is your campus coverage. Students checking out media equipment have a new location to go to. The University Media Checkout has been relocated to the Ball Communication Center room. The team celebrated today with an open house to show students and staff the new area. Students have access to more equipment than in the previous center. Employees are excited about the bigger space and updates to the UMS.
I believe it was because the area was pretty cramped last year, and this is just like, I think the school just funded it, and now there's just a ton of extra space that makes everything a lot more less congested.
For more information on the UMS and the new checkout system, you can visit ballstatedaily.com. Now we are definitely going to need those sweaters to carry that equipment around campus.
Oh, for sure. It's been a little bit chilly out, but I am enjoying it. I don't know about you, Zach.
No, absolutely. I checked out equipment today, actually, and then on that ride back, I was like, it's starting to get a little chilly outside.
Hope Kleitch, what can you tell us about the weather for the upcoming week?
Yeah, below average temperatures for the next 7 days. 63 tomorrow, 66 on Thursday, but 70s enter the picture going into the weekend. 72 for your football forecast, 73 on Sunday. A slight rain chance on Monday, but otherwise plenty of sunshine going across the next 7 days.
And thank you so much, Hope. That's all tonight for NewsLink Indiana. Be sure to join us again tomorrow night at 9, streaming live on the NewsLink Indiana Facebook page.
And for news anytime, anywhere, you can go to ballstatedaily.com. Have a great night, and we'll see you tomorrow.